Tennessee's television ratings, as usual, I'm not really surprised by this news, but I guess I'm continually surprised by how awesome Tennessee's fan base is, because I feel like Tennessee could show up in Atlanta after an injury bug season, play a Maryland team with only one guy named Levenberry that you've ever heard of, and they would still show up and sell the place out, and they'd still watch and love it. But that's just how great Tennessee's fan base is. So they're going to show up no matter what. They did so in the entire last decade when the Vols were so down. But they definitely showed up for the Citrus Bowl in terms of viewerships. So in viewership in the Orange Bowl, Georgia and Florida State got 10.39 million viewers. You had the semifinal at the Sugar Bowl that got 18.7 million viewers. And then Michigan, Alabama got a whopping 27 million viewers, but that's because it's in prime time. So after that, it's the Cotton Bowl, Missouri and Ohio State got 9.7 million. The Peach Bowl gets 7.7 million. And then the Citrus Bowl gets 6.8 million viewers. That is not the same as a semifinal, and you wouldn't expect it. But what do you make of that number?
It's an incredible number. Every other bowl you mentioned, Dave, is a New Year's Six Bowl. Every single one. And Tennessee beat a New Year's Six Bowl, by the way. The Citrus Bowl beat a New Year's Six Bowl because Oregon Liberty was a New Year's Six Bowl, and it had 4.67 million viewers. I guess Liberty fans would rather watch some other things than watch their team in a bowl game. But inside joke, guys, go look up Jerry Falwell Jr. in Liberty. So I'm sorry. Right, I just had to go
continue with Tennessee.
Tennessee had the 5th best bowl ratings, the best non-New Year's Six Bowl. They're over 2 million viewers clear of any other non-New Year's Six Bowl viewer, guys. The closest one was the ReliveQuest Bowl, which is the Outback Bowl, LSU, Wisconsin. That had 4.61 million viewers. Tennessee, and let's make no mistake about it. It was Tennessee and LSU had a similar situation. They were starting their quarterback of the future, Garrett Nussmeier at LSU, who John Adams has come on and said he thinks is the best quarterback in the SEC that wasn't starting this year. That was, by the way, Tennessee, who had the best quarterback in the SEC who wasn't starting this year. But I believe in Garrett Nussmeier. Tennessee, though, starting Nico, let me ask you this, Dave. Where would this ranking have been had Joe Milton been the starter in the bowl game?
I don't think it would have been significantly different. I think
you think it still would have been number 5?
I'm not going to say number 5. I mean, right below it was the Fiesta Bowl, Oregon Liberty, and that was 4.6 million. So
but Tennessee was 2 million clear of the Fiesta Bowl.
Right. So I'll say still number 5 with Joe Milton. I don't think it was the Nico factor because that was dropped over the weekend or on a Friday, if I remember correctly. So I don't think people tuned in because of Nico. I think we know who Nico is, but those people that know who Nico is, we're going to watch anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But I still think more people watch because of Nico. So it may have still been number 5, but I bet 1 million fewer watch it. I bet you're at 5.8 million.
I'd be interested to see, because we can see this on our videos, how many viewers go up or drop off. I would be interested to see if there's started to be some chatter on Twitter about, hey, Tennessee has this new freshman guy. You should flip over. He looks really good. I had a buddy of mine who's a Georgia fan, but he's a very casual college football fan. And he brought up, man, this Nico guy looks pretty good. And I think there's a reason the SEC put them in that time slot. There was nothing else going on then. You have the day off. Nurse your hangover with a good football game. Wasn't a good football game, but it was a good performance by Nico. So I would be interested to see if the viewership went up throughout the game, which it may have well done despite a blowout.
That's very possible that it did. I think that's highly possible. I think a lot of people are excited about what a guy like Nico can do. Look, whatever you want to say about football, you say the college football playoff's a TV show. Football is a TV show nowadays. And a quarterback in a great system is a TV show. Tim Tebow was a TV show. Wasn't Tebow must-see TV every week he played at Florida? And I mean, Nico is pretty much the same way. So I think that definitely helped. Look, and I know you disagree with me on this, Dave. I know you guys disagree with me, but look, in the future of the college football playoff, we say the expectations are like 3 out of every 4 years Tennessee should be in, right?
Yes.
There will inevitably be years in those, though, where Tennessee's on the cusp of the 11 to 13 range, right? Like just barely in.
Yes. Yeah.
There will years will come like that. You don't think things like this Citrus Bowl rating will have an impact on Tennessee getting the nod and getting the benefit of the doubt?
It shouldn't, but it should. I mean, it should come down to wins and losses, but there's no way to do that like the NFL. It should
They
all
do
be
it in
on
the
the field.
NCAA.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean,
They do it with.
if you're deciding between in the NCAA basketball tournament, if you're deciding between Duke and UTC, who are you going to take?
You're taking
You're
Duke.
You're taking Duke.
They do this with the Lady Vols all the time, by the way. Holly Warlick's last team had no business getting into the NCAA tournament. They were clear-cut not in the NCAA tournament, if you looked at their resume, and they got in as like a low seed because the lady. And by the way, the NCAA women's tournament gives you home court advantage the first weekend. Tennessee has plenty of times gotten home court advantage that they didn't deserve it because that Lady Vols fans are going to show up. And when you're women's basketball and you need that revenue, what are you going to do? You're going to make sure Tennessee's in, and you're going to try to make sure they have a home weekend. You don't think they're going to do the same thing with the college football playoff?
No, I totally agree. By the way, Cooper's going to join us later today, so it'll be on the YouTube channel. Coop, what should people do?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. So, do you think that this viewership, this fan base that floods our website and floods our YouTube page every day, and that we absolutely love and appreciate the bejesus out of you, do you think that got them into the Citrus Bowl? I ask you that question. Is brought to you by our great friend Don Self. Customer service still matters. State Farm agent Don Self and his team take customer service seriously. DonSelf.net, DonSelf.net. Call 423-396-2126. It's right down below. They built their business and reputation on taking care of their customers. Everybody's shopping for best price, but man, you got a claim coming, you want to get paid. And that's Don Self. Chattanooga area, Don Self. State Farm agent, Don Self, DonSelf.net. Tennessee got in the Citrus Bowl, which was better than the Gator Bowl. I don't even know where the Gator Bowl is on this television listings, but they got in the Citrus Bowl because the SEC knew that it would provide great television ratings, or better than average, better than sending who else could they have sent there?
The only other SEC team they could have sent there would have been LSU. And LSU was in the Citrus Bowl last year, Dave, and it wasn't one of the top 12 rated bowls in college football. The Music City Bowl between Iowa and Kentucky last year had higher ratings than the Citrus Bowl last year. So it was partially Tennessee, but more than benefiting you when you show up for a bowl, they punish you if you don't view a bowl. And you know this, Dave. If your fan base does not generate ratings and attendance for a bowl game, that really hurts you in the future. And LSU fans they're going to hate me for saying this. I think LSU fans have a tendency to be very fair weather. I think they're front runners. You can tell me if I'm wrong on that, but I feel like they're
often hung over on January the 1st. And a lot of bowl games are on January the 1st.
Yeah, January 1st at noon. It's like, come on.
Yeah. It's like, I'm hungover. I need comfort food, so I'm going to eat my gumbo and etouffee. By the way,
which is not the best hangover food, and I love gumbo and etouffee, but it's like it's not the best hangover food. But sorry,
I just want something that's going to flush my system. whatever it takes back in my wet days. Whatever it takes to get it out. All right, so. Somebody mentioned on the message board, and we talked about Gerald Mincey entering the transfer portal, Omari Thomas. I couldn't imagine him moving to the offensive line. I think he's a very good player, but we did have that question asked. I mean, he's one of Tennessee's better defensive tackles. I wouldn't see that happening, Caleb.
They're not moving him to offensive line. No. Omari Thomas is this isn't Khalil McKenzie, who should have been playing offensive line the whole time. Omari Thomas is a natural defensive tackle. So.
Yep. By the way, Caleb said earlier that because Gerald Mincey entered the transfer portal, that he is now predicting just a 4-win season for the Vols.
That is not true.
Missed
That
it.
is not true. I said it
That's
depends on who they have behind. And Dave Hooker thinks Bison Lang is the next Darnell Wright. So
Oh, no. I think he's a good offensive guard. I didn't think coming in he could play at the SEC level. Let's make sure that that's very clear. I didn't think, based on his tape, he could play at the SEC level. I thought he was soft and out of shape. I've been proven wrong. Good for you, Bison. Kudos. Maybe one day we'll have a Vol report with Bison Lang brought to you by somebody. But no. I think he will be a solid 2 to 3 year starter at offensive guard, and that's it. If he plays tackle, that to me would really be surpassing my expectations. Don't give me
So you think guard?
Your Bison Lang Heisman Trophy.
What you mentioned Bison Lang is the reason it's okay if Mincy goes. Mincy's a tackle, so they still don't. Who's backing up Mincy? Who's stepping in for Gerald Mincy right now?
I agree. I'm just telling you that when you have depth at guard, usually one of those guys can slide out to tackle, which may be Umarov. I don't know that it's Lang because I haven't seen him do that yet. But remember, Tennessee for the past 2 years has done what? They've done something crazy time on the offensive line, and it's worked out for the most part, but they flipped Darnell Wright from left to right tackle. Who didn't think that was crazy heading into the 2022 season? Why don't you put your best tackle at left tackle? Instead, you put him at right tackle. And then they did the same thing and flipped him last year. So it wouldn't, there's going to be a guy that plays tackle this year for Tennessee that has not played tackle for Tennessee before. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and it probably is somebody who can't play tackle. And what's going to happen when Tennessee plays Alabama? And Alabama has their new edge rusher that they always have. How many sacks is Alabama going to get? 12, 15? I mean, I'm seeing a Bobby Boucher game. There is going to be a Bobby Boucher game when Tennessee plays Alabama right now if they don't address this in the transfer portal, Dave.